What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another GGF video, and today we're taking a quick look at the brand new Be Quiet dark mount and the light mount keyboards. Now, might have been a bit of a shock to see that Be Quiet have moved into these peripherals. For those who don't know, Be Quiet, the parent company, acquired Mountain keyboards a couple of years ago, I believe 2022. So they started to operate under the Mountain keyboard name. I believe they had the Mountain Everest. Those keyboards are very modular. They had the things on the top. I believe they had some things on the side. I never used one of those. Now, since they've fully acquired them, I believe they're just shifting the whole keyboard side of things over to Be Quiet. Now, these do look different, which I think is good. They're not just slapping the Be Quiet name on those existing keyboards. So in this video, I'm just gonna have a quick look. Once again, I think this product is pretty interesting, something a little bit different than what I normally cover, but hey, I've always been interested in keyboards. I love using keyboards for different theme builds. My main gaming keyboard I use at the moment is the ROG Azoth Extreme. I've used the non-extreme for quite a bit. The editing keyboard I use is the Logitech 915, and then I got a bunch of other keyboards I just like to play around with and test. So the main, I wouldn't say game changer, or the main area Be Quiet are trying to sort of convey with these keyboards is how quiet they operate. They do use standard 5-pin Cherry MX form factor for the switches. Let me move this out of the way, get this centered in here. Now, normally when it comes to keyboards that I get sent, obviously they just sent me these. They didn't ask me what switches I want. These are very quiet. Let me move this up here. So I'm about half a foot away from the microphone. Very quiet. So they come in two types, silent tactile or silent linear. These are the linear ones. Personally, for me, I just love my blue switches. I love my clicky. I'm a fan of just the Gator blues. And most of the time when I receive a keyboard, if I'm going to use it for a long time, I normally rip out all the switches and I just throw in those blues. I didn't get the tactile, so unfortunately I will probably do the same. I could probably get used to this, but I'm just so used to using those clicky blues. So it is good that they're hot swap. Now, I do believe this has triple layer dampening to make it extra quiet, hence I guess being Be Quiet. They're going for a very quiet feel and for the sound as well. Let's just move this out of the way. We'll see what else we get. So this is a pretty highly modular keyboard. You got a switchable numpad, which has some little macro switches above. You can change the screen on it, kind of like the Elgato Stream Deck that's been out for quite a long time. So as you can see, this, oops, that just fell off there. So that just fell off because you can switch this from either side. I'll connect this all in a second. This is another screen module. So what I was saying before, numpad, up the top here, each little screen is a 140 by 140 pixel screen and a button. So you can push that and you've got a little, let's move up there. So that's not like a mechanical switch, it's just a standard button. So you can change that. Now, one thing I was really concerned is when I looked at all of the product images, these were like just a static orange image. And I was thinking, let's hope that it's just not stuck at orange. It's got like an orange backlight. But I've looked at some other videos online and it looks like you can, once you change that to anything you want, you could put like a Call of Duty icon on it, a Discord icon, it will fully change to whatever image you preset on there. So thank God that has not been defaulted to an orange backlight, because that probably, I think, may have ruined the keyboard. That's actually got a bit of weight to it. This over here, this little funky thing is the wrist rest for the numpad. Hooks on like that. We have a switch, or that's a keycat remover, switch remover. So the switches can be removed. I will pull one apart and see. Actually, I'll just do that now. We've got it there. So that looks like it is the LED. I can't even. Looks like that is a north-facing switch, so I can see the LED is at the slight top. For me, I don't really mind. I know there's a big debate whether they're north or south, but for me, it doesn't really matter too much. Okay, these over here are all of the feet. I noticed some other brands are starting to get into these magnetic feet rather than just the clip out ones. So let's have a look and see how these go. So we got a standard little bit of a raised bump for the feet. Let me put this down on this desk and see how that. So that feels pretty good. I always like my keyboard raised. I can never type on a flat keyboard. That's just me. So these, I'm assuming, are just going to go straight over. 1, 2. And now we don't have to put them on. Actually, they don't really go on there. You don't have to put them on the bottom here. So that feels much better already. And now I'm wondering if these are different height. It's hard for me to tell like this because this table is metal. So they are all getting stuck to the table. All right, let's move those out of the way. Let me put some on the numpad. 1, 2, like that. Let's get that out of the way. We'll talk about this in a little bit. We've got this here. Let me see how this clips on. We remove this like so. Then we remove this like so. So we can see we have a, let me get that in focus, Type-C connected there. I believe ROG did this a long time ago with one of their keyboards. You could move it to each side. And then we have the mating female one on that side. So I'm assuming we're just going to move. Oh, I see. Okay. So this will slide. So that's how you get that contact. Because at first, these are both sunken in a bit. So if you just do them like that, there is no contact at all. So what we do is we can slide this out like so. Now, when we clip it in, that's now made contact. All right, so that's with it that side. And now we have this, which is what I would say a media, actually, I think it goes like that. This is a media control system. We've got volume, mute, play, pause, next track, previous track, and there's some more buttons like a D-pad here and a screen. So now I believe this has 2 places as well. One here, like so, if you want it like that. Now I believe if you put it on this side, okay, so you can still have it on this side. In the images, when it's on this side, on the Be Quiet side, they move this on the other side. So it can still go on this side if you like it there. If you like all of your, actually, yeah, I think that's probably a good idea, having all of your controls close to each other, whether you have this on the other side, rather than this being over here like this. You've got to access that and then maybe this, but yeah, I would be inclined to have it together. Let me put that in there like that. That in there like that. Nice foam wrist pad. Let me plug in the USB. USB is plugged in. Let me take this little protector off. I might just stick that there. Now, is this a touchscreen? Come on. No. Fortunately, that's not a touchscreen. I guess they have to draw the line somewhere. We can move across. Might zoom in on that. Next, profile, media, custom, clock, illumination, brightness, volume up and down. That's plugged in my laptop to the right. I can see that. Now, another interesting thing is the I/O center that Be Quiet have for this keyboard. Obviously, being brand new, I don't expect it to be absolutely flawless. I assume there might be, I did look on the Newegg site for where this keyboard was for sale, and someone said they did have issues with assigning macros and so on, but I guess the software, that can be fixed quite easily. Another interesting area with this software is you can run it web-based or you can download this software directly. Obviously, if you're on the go, you can just go to the web. I'm trying that now, and we'll see if it will detect. If it does not, alrighty, we are back. So I had to install the software on my laptop directly. It wanted a firmware update, had to do all that, and we are back in. So when you are greeted with the software, I will capture this on another PC so we can go through it. Go back to the home of the keyboard. We have illumination, key binding, media dock, and product settings. So a lot of things you can actually do on the little screen here itself. Things like the clock, the illumination, I can change the different modes on the keyboard for like wave, tornado, they're calling it, breathing. But obviously if you do have the software installed, you can just go through there. They're just having it on here, so if you don't have the software, but I would much rather just use the software because you're going to have it installed for the other stuff as well. One cool thing we can do is for the media dock, we can actually change the color we want these, or the color of the text. As you can see, it's now, it actually goes to this be quiet little screensaver. So let me take these off. It's going to be very hard to see. But now I've changed that to green. That changes it for all of them. I can change it to yellow, change it to orange, change it to red, pretty much anything you like. Probably not really needed, but just a nice little touch. Then we can also change the idle. So once this is idle, if you give it a little bit, it will then change to the Be Quiet logo over here. And that's by default. You can change that to anything else, or we can change it to the clock, and you've got a few options to change there. So that's just something nice. As you can see there, got the clock sitting there. Would be cool in the future if we can get some game implementation on this. I can't see anything now for that, but game implementation would be cool. Things like even FPS would be nice, just some stats, in-game things like that. Key bindings for the macros over here. And you can also change the key binding to these as well, although it'd be a bit weird because you're still stuck with the media identification sort of images on the keys. Whereas these ones over here, as they're little screens, they pretty much can be completely blank and you can set them to what you want. So I've already changed the Discord one there. As you can see, I just Googled Discord logo. So if you're in Discord, Google the logo, download it. I didn't even check the size. It looks like it's scaled that pretty good. If I want to do another one, I just go over to the right, click on it. Key image, I can change this to custom. I can add one. It's remembered my previous one. I've just chosen Battlefield 2042, done that. And as you can see, that has now set that to Battlefield 2042. So that's pretty sweet. Once you set them all, you don't like the orange, it's going to completely get rid of the orange. Obviously, Be Quiet, they've stuck with the orange by default. Basically a mini little Stream Deck on the keyboard. And I use a Stream Deck pretty much every day. I use it to launch programs. I don't use it anything for streaming. I get people tell me, well, I don't do streaming. Do I need a Stream Deck? Do I need this for streaming? No, you don't. You can set it for a lot of things. Even a lot of my smart lighting, I use the Sonoff brand. They have a desktop app. You can install that. That'll connect to your online account. It'll pick up all of your devices. You can set key bindings in their desktop app. And on my Stream Deck, I have things like turn my main lights on and off directly from my Stream Deck. And I could do the exact same thing on this. I could do like basement light, which one is, the stairs to the basement, an overhead light, anything I want, I can adjust that because it just uses simple macros. And this is what this uses as well. But I think that's probably a quick look on this one. I won't go over too much more. I just want to go over the light mount, which is this one here, before this video drags on for too long. So I am doing some Be Quiet coverage at Computex. They said the main focus will be their keyboards. I don't know if they have something new. I wanted to quickly do an unboxing on this so I can throw these on my main workstation and give this a good testing. So once I do my Computex coverage, I'm not just sort of thrown in the dark and say, hey, these are our new keyboards, start talking about them. At least I will have some experience. I know Computex is only a few weeks away, but at least I'll have a bit of testing on these keyboards, how they feel, any issues with the software and so on. And then I can report back in my Computex coverage if anything needs improving, what I did like, what I didn't like, and so on. This is just, I'm probably not going to turn this one on, or I can probably just steal the other cable. This is over in this box, the keycap remover. That's it. I don't need to go through anything else. Similar feeling wrist rest. As you can see, the two there, very similar. Obviously, this one has the fixed numpad. This is the more trimmed down version, so this is going to be more affordable. The feet, of course, are your traditional two-stage flip like that, and then back down. I normally do the middle, so if you go flat, middle, then you've got the most. I pretty much call it 3 stages. Go that one. That one feels good. Once again, the linear ones, very, very quiet. Same switches on this one. I'll do some typing about half a foot away. very, very quiet. I don't even know. Let's have a look at the readout if I stop talking. Yeah, it's just picking that up. So very, very quiet. Some people might not care about that. I like the clicky switches, of course. It would have been interesting to see what their linear tactile ones are, or their silent tactile ones actually, to see how tactile they are, but then how loud they are. So it would have been good to do a comparison between them. The main difference is on this one just has a dial here for volume, and then it's got a mute in the middle, and then it's got your traditional M1 to M5. You can still assign these to shortcuts, to games, anything you like. You just don't have that fancy little screen on the each little switch or each little button. Let's move this directly over here and we can see this one light up. This one's got a light bar. It's going to be very overexposed at the moment, but this is a light blue, probably not the best to show on camera because it light blue always comes up as white. Actually, that actually came straight up in the software. It wants me to update firmware, see how long that takes for that to go. I just want to check also if there's any like dampening in these keyboards in terms of the rigidity on them. So that feels pretty good. I know that's like a big deal in a lot of laptop keyboards, but some keyboards I have like the ROG Azoth Extreme. They've got a switch on the back. You can make it very damp. So when you're pushing on it, the actual keyboard flexes down and then you can switch it back and it's much more stiffer. This one is actually quite stiff all around. And let me feel how this one feels. Very stiff all around as well. That firmware has updated. Let me change the illumination, this top bar, to something that's not very good. I just want something like, oh, there we go. Something like that so we can get a bit of RGB. Once again, that bar is still very overexposed because of the direct light I have over the top. But I think that's pretty much it on these keyboards. Let us know if there's anything else you want me to mention at Computex or cover these, because no doubt these two will be there. These are currently their main flagships. It'll be interesting to see if they come out with a 65%. Obviously, these are full-size keyboards. However many keys they are, I used to know. I've forgotten. There's so many keyboards now. There's 65, 75, 80 something. These are the full ones. Maybe something a more gaming orientated one. We don't really need the numpad. Maybe do these keys over here like this one on a gaming keyboard that's like a 65 or a 75, whereas this can dock on the top or something, and then you still get those macros, because on a gaming keyboard you probably don't need this. I would prefer something like this on a smaller size keyboard. And then lastly, coming down to price, I did have that, don't want to get that wrong. So for the dark mount, which is this one here, the big boy, the top dog one, is $255 US, and then for the trimmed down light mount, you're looking at $170 or $169.90, so $170 US. Now, once again, whenever I say prices on these products, people always say, nah, this should be this much, it should be this much. Now, if you're not really a keyboard enthusiast, I am not, but I know that a lot of keyboards can cost over $1,000, and then I know that a lot of keyboards can cost under $100. Now, I think $250 isn't too bad. $255 isn't too bad. If you don't want to use this, you don't want to use the screen or any of that, then probably this might seem expensive to you, but you're getting, like, I would say, a mini Elgato Stream Deck in here. Haven't tested it all, I don't know how well it works, but as of the physical hardware, it seems pretty good. You're getting that. You're getting the removable numpad to the left and the right. You've got this little thing. I don't know how much I would use this. If they can really deliver on the software until I play around with it a bit more stats and information on this little screen, that would be sweet. But $250 I don't think is too bad. Like most Logitech standard TKL keyboards, I think are about that price. So to getting all these features isn't too bad. And then I think the $169 for this one isn't too bad either. Once again, haven't really tested it all, but you do get the volume over here and then the mute, very trimmed down, but then you're still getting that 3-layer of dampening. You've got the removable switches as well and so on. But I think that's it. Stay tuned for my Computex coverage when I do coverage this in a few weeks. I want to thank Be Quiet for sending these out to check out. I want to thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.